Hey guys, Cousin Vin here, and I got some news that just has come out here just a few hours ago. This is regarding this is coming out of the Pentagon. Okay, shit's starting to get real, real concerning here, and fast. Okay, the Pentagon has just ordered the National Guard. Okay, the National Guard. We're talking about the military here, to establish what they call a quick response force in anticipation of potential uprising and civil unrest in and around the cities and states of America. Okay, they're anticipating chaos and riots. Listen, if they were concerned, they wouldn't have put this order out to the military. Okay, shit's getting really real here, and it's for me, for one. I know I like to be funny and make light of a lot of my videos, but I'm very concerned about this, okay? Because we're talking about, 40 million people who are losing something that they're used to having, okay? And for them, it's probably very sobering that this is happening to them in their life. For people who are not used to going out to work, or maybe are used to, just living off the government, okay? And we're very comfortable in doing that, whether they needed it or not, okay? Whether they were taking advantage of the program or not, okay? That's irrelevant at this point. The point of it is there's people making videos out there, okay, that are threatening to take matters into their own hands. And all this is true. I mean, there's videos all over social media, that they're going to get theirs, they're going to rob, and they're going to steal and cause chaos and cause destruction. Okay, you can't do that. You can't do that, because you're still going to be held accountable. I mean, I understand that you've got families to feed and so forth like that. But listen, if you're able to get out there and find a job and work, I mean, this is your probably message to go out and do so. Okay, and those vets and and senior citizens, and I feel for you, man. This is ridiculous. I can't even believe I'm talking about this. This is October 30th, 2025. I feel like I'm in a fucking sci-fi movie. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, I can't believe that they just can't come to some sort of resolution. I mean, I know the program has gotten way out of hand, but this is very concerning. Okay, this is very, very concerning. I know that. Listen, I know the way some people think. Okay, and when shit starts getting real here, and they're going to start getting real more in the blue states and democratic cities than they are in the red states. Okay, I just want to make that point clear. And the reason why is because the leaders, the governors and mayors in these blue states, the democratic states, they're gonna allow chaos. Okay, just to put the blame on President Trump. I mean, that's a fucking no-brainer. Okay. I just hope it doesn't spill out into the suburbs where innocent people, okay, are going to be affected by something that they had no part of. And I can already see that happening. This is going to start getting real. This is very concerning. It's not something to joke around about anymore. I mean, it just isn't. I mean, I wish I had a solution, an answer, but I don't. All I know is when the Pentagon gets involved and orders are sent out there, something's coming. They know that something's coming. And this is not to fearmonger you, but I'm just, I'm just preparing everybody. This is not a joking matter. Anyway, I'll update you as more news comes through my feed. I will update you and let you know what I know. Okay?
This just broke. Trump has ordered all 50 states' National Guard units to create quick reaction forces able to respond to civil unrest quickly. Now, ask yourself why no other president has ever done this. Leaders should be afraid of the citizens, not the other way around. This just broke. Trump.
Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Racha, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone who to rule and teach well. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatam, peace and blessings, salutations as always to you hopefully elect listeners out there, keeping the faith and diligence of our Lord, Yahweh Shai. So, we're in some very dangerous times, man. Things are turning up every single day. Like, things are just getting more and more out of control. So, today, the Trump administration, through the Pentagon, made the announcement that they are readying thousands of National Guard reaction forces as the U.S. mission widens, and this is in response to what they are anticipating to go down in the month of November. Now, we know that come November 1st, SNAP benefits, food assistance will not be going out to over 42 million Americans. And this is a problem, all right, because here it is that we're coming up on 1 month of a government shutdown, and there's still no solution in sight. I forget who it was, but it was some politician. I think he was a Speaker of the House or something for the Republicans, but he came out and said that we're in no rush to reopen the government. So I was hearing, rumors that, this thing might extend past Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it's looking like that's going to be the case, because dude came out and said that we're in no rush to reopen the government. And see, these devils know what they're doing. See, these devils know exactly what they're doing. This is what they want, because ultimately now Trump is activating National Guard in all 50 states. What do you think this is all about? This is martial law that's about to be declared, because once people can't eat, can't afford food, is no help coming, then as you heard in that video, man, people are going to take matters into their own hands. People are going to do what they feel as though they need to do to protect themselves and feed their families. And it's looking like it's going to end in violence. It's looking like a lot of people going to be getting taken advantage of. It's going to be a lot of crime. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you already seen it though. People already running up in stores and just taking shit. So how much more when there's really no end in sight to this government shutdown? Just imagine if they allow this thing to roll on into 2026. So this is why, all right, this administration is making this move, man. All right. Up to 23,500 service members are being readied and trained for civil unrest missions in U.S. cities. And look, man, we've been telling you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashman Shai what's coming on the earth. This really about to be the worst case scenario, okay? You're going to be having mass looting, mass rioting, all right? Crime is going to be at an all-time high. And if you think people crazy now, you just wait until it ain't no more food, all right? Because right now, and see, the whole thing about this SNAP benefit assistance, the whole thing about this is this didn't have to be affected with the government shutdown. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't think even the last time that it happened, like 2018, 19, I don't think they messed with the SNAP. I think people still got their SNAP through the shutdown. But they doing it this time because they want a certain reaction. All right, they want a civil unrest and ultimately civil war to erupt in America. And if you know Esau, then you know that he gonna put his own agents out there to, increase the violence, increase the confusion. But it don't even have to be this way. That's the point of what I'm saying, is it don't even have to be that way, because all these devils have to do is release the funds through the USDA and people can get what they need. But see, we in a time now where the Lord, he bringing down that judgment. And a lot of people is about to lose. They about to feel the pain. And we're, coming into a new system, man. So Esau, he's about to starve the people out. Okay? And when you take away a dog's food and you starve him out, well, eventually he's going to become aggressive and he's going to attack you. So this is what Esau knows is going to happen, because he studies the population. He knows people's trigger points, and he knows that if you control the food, then you can control the people. So now he's controlling the people through lack of food, lack of bread. Okay, so let's read some of this. The Pentagon has ordered thousands of specialized National Guard personnel to complete civil unrest mission training over the next several months, an indication that the Trump administration's efforts to send uniformed military forces into urban areas once reserved for extraordinary emergencies could become the norm. And they showed you that when they put the National Guard out there in D.C. And them National Guard is still out there in D.C. So they've been there, for about 2 months now? Maybe 2.5 going on 3 months. You see what I'm saying? So we told you then that when you saw this National Guard begin to be deployed to these different states, All right, we've showed you, all right, that eventually this is going to be in all 50, and now this is what they're doing. Now they're going to activate them in all 50 states. You see? So they're about to shut down America. They're about to shut down America. It's about to be chaos, and they're going to bring about a new order from all of this confusion. But this is the norm now. The Defense Department's newly established quick reaction force within the National Guard must be trained, equipped with riot control gear, and ready for deployment by January 1st. So that's very interesting, right? It says that they must be ready and equipped to be rolled out by January 1st, because we know that the benefits is going to stop coming in November 1st, but we know that it's not going to go down like on November 1st, that day, like it's going to be all hell just going to break loose on November 1st. No. But the longer that this shutdown continues, and the more people feel helpless, and you know there's and they see that there's no help coming, that's when people are going to take matters into their own hands. All right, so it's only a matter of time before things really get to that point, man, to where Esau is going to have to step in, and they saying they got to be ready by January 1st, and no doubt they're going to be ready before then, but they just putting that date out there to make it seem like, oh, you know, you ain't got to worry about it right now. You ain't got to worry about November, December. January 1st, they'll be ready. But they ready right now because they've been training. All right? An existing separate but similar structure, the National Guard Reaction Force is expected to complete civil unrest training and be fully operational by April 1st. And they're going to be ready before that. They already are ready. The total size of the force will be 23,500 troops. So imagine that. All right? Just think about if Trump sent in 23,500 troops into Afghanistan. All right? Wouldn't you think that we're going to war? Isn't that a declaration of war if you sending that many? That's a lot of troops, man. All right? So we've been telling you, man, all right, these devils have declared war on the American citizen, and more specifically, you Israelites. Okay, that's really what this is all about. You know what I'm saying? But throughout all 50 states, 23,500 troops are being mobilized in 3 territories, including the District of Columbia. Most states will supply 500 personnel for the reaction force, with the rest falling between 250 and 450. Those forces are typically used for emergencies like disaster relief, not as on-call troops for civil unrest. And see, Trump, he's using that plenary authority, all right, to where now he has complete control. You know, he ain't got to answer to the courts. He ain't got to answer to the Democrats. He ain't got to answer to nobody, all right? He's pretty much now really become a king and a dictator, which if you ask him, then he'll claim that he's not. But clearly, we see what's going on here, all right? So with this announcement being made, this is what's going on here. All right, check this out. Trump officials move into military residences in D.C. area. So with this announcement now coming out in the anticipation of what they expect to come in November, you have these high level political officials such as Mark Rubio, Stephen Miller, Pete Hegseth, and a lot of people, man, moving now into military residences in the D.C. area. So they know, what's about to go down. All right. Let me get the point here. Hegseth. Here we go. Kristi Noem, okay, and she's another one. She's a damn demon. Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary, lives in a government representation facility owned by the Coast Guard and is paying fair market rent, according to Tricia McLaughlin. Daniel P. Driscoll, the Army Secretary, has also moved into military housing, as has the Navy Secretary John Field. So look, man, you can't make this up. All of these high-profile political officials are moving into secured areas. What do you think is about to happen? This is the same. This is the equivalent to all the American people moving underground into nuclear bunkers. All right, that would denote what? That a nuclear threat is on the way, because people are moving, people are running for shelter. That's what they're doing. So whatever's about to happen within the next 2 months, going into 2026, is about to be some major shit that's about to go down, man. Because these people, they taking this seriously, and they're moving to protect themselves. All right, that's the main point of this article, man. That they're moving into military bunkers, right? These officials are going underground. They're getting out the way. And remember, some years ago, when these same not military, but these same political officials, they was given satellite phones. Okay, they was given satellite phones so they could communicate in the instance of a grid outage. You know what I'm saying? Which is gonna happen soon anyway. They gonna black out the grid. All right, ESO's about to go lights out. On top of no food, on top of no work. This is about to be complete hell here in America, man. So we in a time now where, hey, if you a scoffer, then you gonna know that a prophet have been among you, man. Because when this shit hits, it's gonna hit super hard, all right? And you gonna remember the words of the prophets, and you gonna consider in that day, but it's gonna be too late, okay? Once it already goes down, man. So that's why, as it says in Ecclesiastes 12, let's get that. Let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 12. All right. Because, hey, man, hey, you're supposed to remember the Lord in the days of your youth, which is now. Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not. See, and when you read Ezekiel the 7th chapter, it tells you what? Evil and only evil is come. All right, we're in the midst of the evil days. You know what I'm saying? We're in the midst of Jacob's trouble. We're really in that time. While the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. And right now, people are in a time where they're not having pleasure in these days. People not enjoying life like how they used to. You know what I'm saying? You may go on social media and see people doing, this and that, trying to make it seem like they having fun. But yo, when people go back to their house at night, people are miserable, man. People are worried. People are worried about, what the hell's going on. What is life gonna look like 5 years from now? Do I even have a future? These are things that people are contemplating in this time now because of all of what's going on. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashman Washai, the hopeful elect, we have the eyesight to see and know what's coming. And we've already accepted what's to come. So it's not going to catch us off guard, blindside us, and destroy our spirit, man, because this is what we've been building ourselves up for, to deal with these very times now that we're coming into. All right. Verse 2, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble. And that goes into people that, deal with the economy, the affairs of the government and things of that nature. When the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. And we're in a time now where mass layoffs are occurring. All right. And just before the holiday season, this is usually the time of year when companies start mass hiring because they need people on their workforce to be able to deal with the, surge of deliveries and, just the workload of the holidays, man. You actually have Target laying off. Amazon is laying off. UPS is laying off. So that should tell you right there that the economy is worse than what they're telling you it is. All right, that should tell you that the economy is pretty much done if they're laying off for the holidays. All right, that's not normal. Yeah, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. People are perplexed. All right, people are confused. People don't understand what's going on and what's to come. They truly believe that, or should I say that they believed in MAGA. They believed in Trump. They believed that he would be their saving grace, but it's all turning out to be a hellish nightmare. And they ain't seen that yet because the worst is yet to come. Look, man, and I remember saying this years ago. All right, that look, you think that the CV-19 was bad, like that was a bad time to be alive? Look, man, the time we coming into now, the CV19 epidemic is like heaven, okay? Because at least back then you ain't had to work. You was getting free money. You was eating all this food. Like you had crazy entertainment. You know, you had everything. We in a time now where people are losing everything. You ain't got no safety net, and it's all from Yahweh Bashmil Shai. And really, when I look at it now, it's like the CV19, fatten people up for the slaughter. All right, because a lot of people literally did gain a lot of weight during that time, but people got comfortable too. You know, like people got used to the stimulus. People got used to the benefits and not having to work and having to have their way. Now, the flip is script. Now people are on the receiving end of judgment and hardship, and people out here crashing out at all-time highs, man. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. You see? Verse 5, also when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fears shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets. We in that time. We in that time to where the Lord is truly removing this world, man. You know what I'm saying? He's bringing the hammer down. All right. So you got the Pentagon saying to ready thousands of National Guard across the nation. You got these political officials going into military housing and things of that nature. And you got this as well. Furious SNAP recipients threaten to loot if food stamps are cut on November 1st. And it's not if, when. They already telling you that benefits are not going to go out. So when this happens, and it's not, again, you may see some things the first day, but as time goes on and situations get worse, the economy breaks down more, that's when you really going to see people take to the streets in mass. That's when you're going to see mass looting, mass rioting, okay? People going to clear these stores out because what other option are they going to have, okay? Hey, man, we're in that time of great tribulation and lack of bread. As the U.S. government shutdown drags into its second month, fury is boiling over SNAP recipients. With benefits poised to halt on November 1st, TikTok has erupted with viral videos of users boldly threatening to raid grocery stores rather than go hungry. An estimated 42 million Americans, 1 in 8 nationwide, rely on these monthly payments, averaging $3.50 per household for groceries. And it was people getting a lot more than that. I mean, you go on TikTok, Keisha was getting $1,100, $1,200, in some cases even more. All that shit is gone. All right. Unlike 2018 and 2019 shutdowns when payments were issued early, and they ain't do that this time. They, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't issue SNAP payments early. They said, F you, figure it out. When payments were issued early, this time families face a true lapse. 26 states, including New York, sued the USDA demanding it use reserves. New York Attorney General Letitia James blasted the decision. SNAP is one of our nation's most effective tools to fight hunger, and the USDA has the money to keep it running. There is no excuse for this administration to abandon families who rely on SNAP or food stamps as a lifeline. The suit seeks a restraining order to force funding. And see, they can release the funding to the American citizen, but it shows you that we're in a different time. They don't want to do that. This ain't 2018, this ain't 2019. We're in a different time, man, to where these devils really bringing down the pain. And furthermore, it's really Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai. All right, this is the judgment of the Lord that's coming down upon the land because of the pride and all the wickedness and all the blasphemy that exists within this land of America. It's time for these people to pay, man. All right, it's time, for these people to go through adversity. And even crazier, right? The longer that this government shutdown goes on, you're going to see the states become affected as well. Because even, right now, like you can say, okay, well, federal, federal money ain't going out, right? But these states, you have to keep in mind as well, these states are broke. These states ain't got no money. A lot of these states are still running and functioning because they get federal grants. So the longer that this government shutdown goes on, grant money ain't coming in, government subsidies ain't coming in. A lot of people about to lose, man. All right. So you see federal layoffs right now. Very soon, you're going to be seeing state bureaucracies shut down as well. All right. You're going to be seeing mass layoffs within the state. Okay, because there's only so much money that these states have, to where they can continue operations as normal. Once those funds run out, and once the supply chain breaks down and people ain't working and money ain't coming in and all that type of stuff, everything is going to be affected. You see? So it's only a matter of time before you start seeing firefighters get laid off, police get laid off, healthcare workers that work for the state get laid off, man. All right? So how much more chaotic of a society is it going to be even then? All right? It's going to be no law and order. You ain't going to have nobody to put out no fires. You ain't going to have nobody to police your neighborhoods. It's going to be Mad Max, okay? It's going to be Mad Max out here. It's going to be the purge out here, man. And again, that's what these devils want. All right? So they egging people on, and they're just being cruel. All right? And it's that cruel Lord DJT spoken of in Isaiah the 19th chapter. All right, let's get that. Isaiah 19 and verse 1 at the top. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. And the Egypt is speaking of here is America, Babylon the Great. Okay, this is modern day spiritual Egypt, all right? And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So that's speaking of what? That's speaking of civil war right there. Okay? Where the scriptures tell you in 2 Ezra 6 that what friends shall fight one against another like enemies. Is telling you here that, everyone shall fight against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor. So your neighbor is going to become your enemy. Why? Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, as it says in 2 Ezra the 16th chapter. And Lord willing, through the Spirit, we can get that as well. All right, verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, which we believe through the Spirit is DJT. All right, saith the Lord of hosts. All right, so hey, we in that time, man. Okay, we definitely in that time. Let's get 2 Ezra 16. You know what I'm saying? To where the Lord, he's again bringing the hammer down. Okay, the Lord is not going to suffer these people to live in their wickedness no more. It's time to pay. All right, 2 Ezra 16 and 17 says, woe is me. Woe goes into destruction. Woe is me. This is the prophet Ezra speaking here, right? When he's seeing the vision of what's taking place in the last days. And these are the times that we're in right now, to where we also are going to see these things very soon. Who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, just like our Lord Yahushua said, Matthew 24, verse 6, 7, and 8, when you begin to see earthquakes and, famines and all these things, right? That this is the beginning of sorrows, man. People are in sorrow right now. People are hurting. People are suffering. And it's only going to get worse. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. For all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Right, so all these things, all these judgments, famine, plague, tribulation, anguish, these things are being sent to basically, these things are being sent as judgment. All right, And all the while, you've had the men of the Lord, all right, reproving you, trying to get you to turn from your wicked way and come back to the Lord, so that when these days come, you ain't got to be in this, man. But majority of people, all right, it says in verse 20, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness. They're not going to repent, nor be mindful. People don't even know what the hell is going on, but they will soon. Verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Yeah, so when people was able to get the SNAP and they could go, and fill up their grocery cart, $300, $400, $500 worth of food and snacks and all type of things, they thought that they was in a good case. They thought that the well would never run dry, but it is now. You see that? Verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. You see that? So the sword, man, okay, judgment is coming. And that's in 15. We'll get that real quick. 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition. Okay, with sedition, right? Let's get that real quick. We know what it means, but just for the sake of edification, sedition means conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority or of a state or monarch. Incitement. Okay, so we're in a time where incitement for rebellion, people talking about, when I don't get my SNAP benefits, I'm going to rob, I'm going to loot, I'm about to pull up at people's houses, man. This is what people are saying. You even had one bugged out ass Eve. I saw a brother did a video today of one bugged out ass Eve. Like she went on the net and said, if I don't get my SNAP benefits, then I'm about to go out, get me some white people and I'm going to cook and eat them. That's what she said. All right, and look, cannibalism. We always talk about it. Cannibalism is going to be a major factor in this time, man. Cannibalism is about to come back in a huge way. Just you wait and see. All right. We in a time now where it's about to get so crucial that you might walk down the street one day and see somebody getting ate up. All right. Not even cook them, just eating them raw, man. Like, these are the times we're coming into. The scriptures speak about these things. So the fact that people are saying these things, when they get hungry enough, when they get desperate enough, they gonna tap into that savage beast-like nature, man. And that's what it's gonna be. So if you don't think you need Yahweh Bashmel Shai in this time, then you a damn fool, and you're gonna get what's coming to you. All right? Point blank. What was I at? Okay, yeah. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. That's why, now it's a lot. Ain't nobody listening to Trump. Ain't nobody listening to the mayor or governor, they state representative, because ultimately the damn government is shut down. So what the hell are you going to tell me? All right? People have the mindset, you going to tell me not to go out and loot and riot and take food for myself and my family when you ain't giving me shit? To hell with you. That's people's mindset now, man. So people not going to give a damn about the law. It's about to be lawless. It's about to be anarchy out here in these streets, man. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Just like you heard the one dude say in the TikTok clip. People going to take matters into their own hands. This is what the scripture is saying. The course of their actions shall stand in their power. They're going to do what they want to do. And like I said, once these bureaucracies break down, once these state governments close and they ain't got the funding, it ain't going to be no police. Oh, yeah, it's really going to be on then. You see? A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. It's going to be checkpoints with these National Guard They gonna set up zones. Okay, they're gonna set up clearance checkpoints and things like that to where you can't get through. Interstate travel is gonna be shut down. Flying out the country is gonna be shut down. All right, these are the times we're coming into lockdown. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, you're going to have people pulling up at people's houses, kicking in doors. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's about to get wild out here, man. So for you Israelites, you know what I'm saying, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans out there, repent, man. Okay, it's that time to repent, seek the Lord, because the doors of mercy right now, if you can hear me speaking, the doors of mercy is still open. All right. If you can still hear, brother's voice and watch the lessons and things like that, then mercy is still available. But the doors of mercy are closing fast, man. So hey, you better get aboard that spiritual ark and seek the Lord so that you can have favor in this time, because you're gonna see a lot of people perish in the worst way. All right, you're gonna be seeing some horrific. I'm talking about stuff that they can't even show in the movies. You're gonna be seeing some horrific, crazy judgments, man. All right, stuff that the movies can't even do justice. You see, that's how the Lord about to put it down out here. Okay, the Lord is really about to show you what real judgment is, man. All right, and that's why all the prophets, when they saw the visions, they was afraid, cause it's like, what, It's like, man, I can't imagine being in something like that. Same thing Ezra said. Like, Ezra said that he was in fear. He was in fear when he seen these things go down. All right? So, yeah, it's definitely about to get real, man. The Lord turning up that judgment within the earth. Let's go Luke 21. Luke chapter 21 and 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. All right, and that's what's happening now, man. People's hearts are failing them for fear. People are perplexed, confused, all right, having no guidance, no type of direction. What people are like, damn, all they know is that, okay, either I'm gonna prep for what's coming, or I'm gonna just ride it out, or I'm gonna become a damn animal. All right, a lot of people are on that type of time too, like, hey, fuck it. It's gonna be dog eat dog, well I'm gonna be a damn wolf. Okay, a lot of people have that mindset as well. So either way you want to look at it, man, if you're not in Yahweh Bashmel Shai in this time, it's not going to be good for you. You will perish, all right? You will, because there's no way out of this, all right? These things must come to pass, but the only ones that will escape the judgment that's coming upon the earth are the hopefully elect of Yahweh Bashmel Shai, man. Everybody else, they're going to be bird food, okay? Let's get 2nd Ezra 9 and we close out. 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter and verse 1. He said, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, which you seeing now, a whole lot of earthquakes, like it was just 2 earthquakes off the coast of Oregon. And they talking about now that it's going to be a huge earthquake out there in California that's pretty much going to wreck the whole West Coast, man. All right, because they've been talking about that big earthquake out there coming for a long time. But we in that time, man, where the Lord about to bring these judgments forth. All right? When there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed. All right, so you're only going to be saved by your works in faith, man. Okay, because by that, the Lord will have grace and mercy upon you and get you through the evil that's coming upon this earth. You see, if you don't believe and if you ain't putting forth no type of works, you know, towards the Lord, then hey, then the Lord not gonna put in no salvation for you. Right? It's pretty simple as that. You know, so prepare for what's coming. Continue to stay grounded within the Spirit, and continue to be circumspect, man. Hell is coming down the pipe. So with that, I'm gonna close out. Call Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Rakakadash. And until next time, Lord willing, shalom to the elect. Kum Yashala. Bye bye.